You forgot where you put your keys again. Should you be worried? Here's the truth. Most doctors don't have time to explain. Let me guess. You walked into a room and completely forgot why you were there. Or you bumped into someone at the grocery store and their name just vanished. And now there's this little voice in the back of your head asking, is this normal? Or is something wrong with me? You're not alone. This is one of the most common fears people have after 60. And here's the good news most people never hear. The vast majority of memory slips that terrify us are completely, totally, 100% normal. But here's the problem. Because no one explains the difference clearly, millions of seniors live in unnecessary fear. They assume every forgotten name is the beginning of the end. Meanwhile, others miss the actual warning signs because they brush everything off as just getting older. Today, we're ending the confusion once and for all. I'm going to walk you through 9 specific situations. For each one, I'll show you exactly what normal aging looks like versus what might actually be a warning sign worth discussing with your doctor. By the end of this video, you'll have the clarity you've been searching for. No more guessing, no more late-night worry, just real answers. Now let's get into it, starting with the one that scares people the most. You see your neighbor walking toward you. You've known her for 15 years, and suddenly, her name is just gone. Terrifying, right? But is it actually a warning sign? Here's the truth. Forgetting names, even names of people you know well, is one of the most normal parts of aging. It happens to almost everyone after 60, and it does not mean your brain is failing. Here's why it happens. Names are what scientists call arbitrary information. There's no logical connection between your neighbor's face and the word Susan. Your brain has to retrieve that specific label from millions of stored memories. And as we age, that retrieval process simply slows down. Think of it like a library with millions of books. The book is still there, it just takes longer to find it on the shelf. What's normal? Forgetting a name in the moment, but remembering it later. That tip of the tongue feeling where you know it. Needing a moment to recall names of people you don't see often. What might be a warning sign? Consistently not recognizing people you should know well. Forgetting the names of close family members like your spouse or children. Not remembering the name even after someone tells you, and then forgetting again minutes later. The key difference? Normal aging means the information comes back. A warning sign is when it doesn't come back at all, or when you don't even realize you've forgotten. So if you forgot your neighbor's name at the mailbox, but remembered it in the shower an hour later, completely normal. Breathe easy. Where did I put my glasses? Has anyone seen my phone? I know I had my keys right here. Sound familiar? Of course it does. Everyone loses things. But when should misplaced items actually concern you? What's normal? Putting your glasses down and forgetting where you left them. Misplacing your keys because you were distracted when you set them down. Spending a few minutes searching before finding the item in a logical place. This happens because of something called divided attention. When you're thinking about something else while setting down your keys, your brain doesn't fully encode where you put them. It's annoying, but it's not dangerous. What might be a warning sign? Finding items in truly bizarre locations. Your keys in the refrigerator, your wallet in the oven, your glasses in the sugar bowl. When items end up in places that make no logical sense, it suggests your brain is having trouble with sequencing and spatial reasoning, not just memory retrieval. Another warning sign? Accusing others of stealing or moving your things. If you frequently believe someone must have taken your belongings because you can't imagine how they got where they are, that's worth paying attention to. The bottom line: losing your keys and finding them in your coat pocket? Normal. Losing your keys and finding them in the freezer with no memory of putting them there? Time to talk to your doctor. You walk into the kitchen with purpose. You knew exactly what you needed. And then, nothing. Complete blank. This one terrifies people. But I have wonderful news. This is almost always completely normal, and there's actually a scientific name for it. Researchers call it the doorway effect. Here's what happens. Your brain organizes memories into episodes based on your environment. When you walk through a doorway, your brain interprets this as the end of one episode and the beginning of another. It essentially files away what you were thinking about and prepares for new information. It's not a malfunction. It's actually your brain being efficient, just a little too efficient sometimes. What's normal? Walking into a room and forgetting your purpose, but remembering when you return to where you started. Having this happen occasionally, especially when you're distracted, tired, or stressed. What might be a warning sign? Getting lost in your own home. Not recognizing familiar rooms. Forgetting not just why you entered a room, but where you are entirely. There's a big difference between why did I come in here and where am I? So the next time you're standing in your kitchen, wondering what you needed, just walk back to where you were. The memory will likely pop right back. That's your brain working exactly as it should. You're telling a story, and suddenly the word you need just disappears. You know exactly what you want to say, you can picture it, but the word won't come. Is this normal aging or something more serious? What's normal? Occasional word-finding difficulties, especially for words you don't use often. That tip-of-the-tongue sensation where you can almost grasp the word. Being able to describe what you mean, even if you can't find the exact word. The word coming to you later. This happens because word retrieval slows with age. The words are still stored in your brain. The pathway to access them just takes a little longer. What might be a warning sign? Frequently stopping mid-sentence, unable to continue. Substituting wrong words without realizing it, like saying, "Hand me the chair," when you mean remote. Losing the ability to follow or participate in conversations. Using vague words like thing or stuff for almost everything because specific words won't come. The key difference is frequency and awareness. Normal aging means occasional struggles with full awareness that you're searching for a word. A warning sign is frequent struggles, wrong word substitutions, or not realizing there's a problem at all. If you occasionally pause to find a word and then either find it or describe what you mean, that's just your brain taking the scenic route. Totally normal. You completely forgot about a lunch date with a friend. Or you missed a doctor's appointment you scheduled weeks ago. Does this mean something is wrong? Not necessarily. What's normal? Occasionally forgetting appointments, especially if your schedule is busy or changed recently. Forgetting events that were scheduled far in advance. Remembering the appointment once someone reminds you. Our brains aren't designed to hold dozens of future commitments perfectly. That's why calendars exist. Forgetting an appointment doesn't mean your brain is failing. It might just mean you need a better system. What might be a warning sign? Forgetting appointments repeatedly, even important ones. Not remembering the event even after being reminded. Missing the same type of appointment over and over despite reminders. Forgetting events that happened very recently, like a family gathering from yesterday. Here's a helpful distinction. Forgetting that you have a dentist appointment next Tuesday is a planning and scheduling issue. Forgetting that you went to the dentist yesterday is a memory and coding issue. The second one is more concerning. Practical tip. If you're forgetting appointments more often, don't panic. First, try improving your system. Use a large wall calendar. Set phone reminders. Ask family members to send you text reminders. If the forgetting continues despite these systems, then it's worth discussing with your doctor. Your spouse says, You already told me that story. Or your kids exchange glances when you ask the same question twice. This one can feel embarrassing. But is it actually a warning sign? What's normal? Occasionally retelling a story to the same person, especially if time has passed. Repeating yourself when you're tired, stressed, or distracted. Realizing you've repeated yourself when someone points it out. Here's the thing. We all have favorite stories. We all have things we like to talk about. And as our social circles overlap, it's natural to sometimes forget who we've told what. This is normal human behavior at any age. What might be a warning sign? Repeating the same question or story multiple times within a single conversation. Having no memory of already saying something, even when told. Repeating yourself constantly, daily, without any awareness. The critical factor is the time frame and awareness. Telling your daughter the same story you told her last month? Normal. Asking her the same question 3 times in 10 minutes with no memory of asking? That's different. Another thing to watch for. If the repetition is accompanied by anxiety or agitation, like asking, "What time is the appointment?" over and over because you can't retain the answer, that combination is worth noting. But occasional repetition, especially of stories you love to tell, that's just being human. Don't let it frighten you. You've made your mother's recipe 100 times, but suddenly you're confused about the steps. Or the TV remote that you've used for years suddenly seems complicated. This one requires careful consideration. What's normal? Needing a moment to remember the steps of a task you haven't done recently. Struggling with new technology or updated interfaces. Making occasional mistakes in familiar tasks when distracted or rushed. Our brains prioritize efficiency. If you haven't made that recipe in 6 months, the steps might not be at the front of your mind. That's normal. A quick glance at the recipe card brings it all back. What might be a warning sign? Struggling with tasks you do regularly, like making coffee the same way you've made it for 30 years. Forgetting the rules of a game you've played your whole life. Needing help with basic activities like using the microwave or operating the washing machine. Getting confused about the sequence of steps in routine activities. The key question is, has this task changed, or have you changed? If the task is the same as it's always been, and you're suddenly struggling with it despite doing it regularly, that's worth paying attention to. But if you're frustrated because your new phone works differently than your old one, welcome to the club. That's not dementia. That's just modern technology being annoying. You're driving somewhere you've been many times, and suddenly nothing looks familiar. Or you lose track of where you are in a store. How do you know if this is normal or something more? What's normal? Momentary disorientation in new or complex environments. Taking a wrong turn and quickly realizing your mistake. Feeling briefly confused in a large, unfamiliar building like a hospital or airport. Our brains can get overwhelmed by new visual information. A moment of, "Wait, where am I?" in an unfamiliar place is completely normal, especially if you quickly reorient yourself. What might be a warning sign? Getting lost in familiar places like your own neighborhood. Not recognizing where you are in locations you've been to many times. Being unable to retrace your steps or find your way back. Wandering without knowing where you're going or why. There's a significant difference between "I took a wrong turn" and "I don't know where I am or how I got here." Another warning sign is losing track of time along with place. If you find yourself somewhere with no memory of traveling there, or if hours seem to disappear without explanation, that's important to discuss with a doctor. But if you occasionally miss your exit on the highway because you were thinking about something else, that happens to everyone. It's distraction, not disorientation. This one is often overlooked, but it might be the most important of all. Sometimes the first signs of cognitive change aren't memory problems at all. They're shifts in mood, personality, or behavior. What's normal? Occasional bad moods or irritability, especially when tired or stressed. Gradual shifts in interests or energy levels as we age. Feeling frustrated with memory slips. Life changes as we get older. Retirement, health challenges, loss of loved ones, these can all affect our mood and outlook. That's a normal human response to life circumstances. What might be a warning sign? Sudden dramatic personality changes. Becoming suspicious or paranoid without reason. Withdrawing completely from activities and people you used to enjoy. Unusual anxiety, agitation, or fearfulness. Saying or doing things that are completely out of character. The brain changes that cause dementia often affect the frontal lobe, which controls personality, judgment, and emotional regulation. Sometimes these changes appear before significant memory problems. If family members are saying things like, "Dad just isn't himself anymore," or "Mom would never have done that before," those observations matter. But here's something important. Depression can also cause memory problems and personality changes, and depression is very treatable. So changes in mood don't automatically mean dementia. They mean something deserves attention. The reassurance you need. Okay, we've covered a lot. Let me give you the reassurance you came here for. If you're watching this video worried about your own memory, that awareness itself is a good sign. People in the early stages of dementia often don't notice or acknowledge their memory problems. The fact that you're paying attention, seeking information, and trying to understand what's normal, that's your healthy brain doing exactly what it should. Here's what I want you to remember. Normal aging affects the speed of memory, not the ability to form memories. You might take longer to recall a name, but you can still learn new things. You might need to write things down more often, but you can still follow a conversation. You might occasionally repeat yourself, but you still know who your family members are. Dementia is different. It's not just slower. It's a progressive loss of abilities that interferes with daily life. The key word is interferes. Forgetting where you put your keys is annoying. Forgetting what keys are for is concerning. Forgetting an appointment is frustrating. Forgetting that you have a doctor at all is different. Repeating a story is human. Not remembering the conversation you had 5 minutes ago is a warning sign. Most of the memory slips that frighten us fall firmly in the normal category. Your brain is not failing, it's just aging, like every other part of your body. And just like you might need reading glasses now when you didn't before, you might need a few more memory aids. That's okay. But what if some of what I described does sound familiar? What if you recognized warning signs in yourself or someone you love? First, don't panic. Early detection is actually good news. If something is going on, catching it early means more options, more time to plan, and in some cases, treatments that can slow progression. Here's what I recommend. Step 1. Start keeping notes. Before you see a doctor, spend a week or two writing down specific examples of what's concerning you. Not vague worries, but specific incidents. On Tuesday, Dad asked what time dinner was 4 times in 1 hour. On Friday, Mom couldn't remember how to use the coffee maker she's had for 10 years. These specific examples help doctors understand what's actually happening far better than general concerns like memory seems worse. Step 2. Talk to your primary care doctor. Don't go straight to a specialist. Start with your regular doctor. Many things can cause memory problems that aren't dementia. Medication side effects, thyroid issues, vitamin deficiencies, sleep apnea, depression, urinary tract infections in older adults. Your doctor can rule out these reversible causes first. Sometimes the solution is as simple as adjusting a medication or treating an underlying condition. Step 3. Request cognitive testing if needed. If your doctor shares your concerns, they may recommend formal cognitive testing. This isn't scary. It's usually a series of questions and simple tasks that measure different aspects of brain function. These tests establish a baseline. Even if everything is normal now, having that baseline makes it easier to detect changes in the future. Step 4. Focus on what you can control. Whether you're dealing with normal aging or something more, the same lifestyle factors help protect your brain. Sleep, exercise, social connection, mental stimulation, a healthy diet rich in vegetables, berries, fish, and olive oil. These aren't just nice ideas. Research shows they can actually slow cognitive decline and reduce dementia risk. You have more power than you think. If you're watching this because you're worried about a parent, spouse, or loved one, I have a few words for you too. First, thank you for caring enough to seek information. That matters more than you know. Second, trust your instincts. You know your loved one better than anyone. If something feels different, if they're not quite themselves, that observation is valuable, even if you can't pinpoint exactly what's wrong. But also give grace. Don't turn every forgotten word into a crisis. Don't make your loved one feel like they're being watched and judged. Fear and anxiety actually make memory worse. Find the balance between paying attention and creating panic. Note concerning patterns, but don't catastrophize normal moments. And if you do need to have a conversation about seeing a doctor, approach it with love, not fear. I want to make sure we're taking care of your health lands better than, I think something is wrong with your brain. Let me leave you with this. Your brain has carried you through decades of life. It's learned languages, solved problems, navigated relationships, and stored a lifetime of precious memories. It's not going to abandon you because you forgot where you put your glasses. Normal aging is real. Your brain at 70 works differently than it did at 30. But different doesn't mean broken. Slower doesn't mean failing. And forgetful doesn't mean dementia. The fact that you watched this entire video, absorbed this information, and can apply it to your own life, that's your brain working beautifully. So tonight, when you can't remember the name of that actor in that movie, take a breath. It'll come to you. And if it doesn't, that's okay too. You can look it up. That's what phones are for. What matters is that you're still here, still learning, still caring about your health, still showing up for yourself and the people you love. That's not a brain in decline. That's a brain that's still very much alive. Now I want to hear from you. Did this video give you the clarity you were looking for? Which situation resonated most with you? And what questions do you still have? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one, and I often make new videos based on what you ask. If this video helped ease your worry even a little bit, please hit that like button. It helps other seniors find this information when they need it most. And subscribe so you never miss our videos on staying strong, sharp, and independent after 60. Remember, knowledge replaces fear. And now you have the knowledge to tell the difference between normal aging and something that deserves attention. Your brain is more resilient than you think. Trust it, take care of it, and stop scaring yourself every time you forget a name. You're doing better than you know.